In these sections, we are going to work on the topic of the couples you want, which, contrary to the couples you choose, who were the real people with whom you got involved throughout your life, in this case, we talk about the projection you make of that ideal couple you would like to be with. All of us imagine someone who could be defined as our ideal partner, and that means that we are always looking for that partner on an unconscious level. But it happens that just as it happened with the couples you choose, in this case, there are also a series of factors that influence the projection you make of your dream partner. Therefore, the question that arises is whether you know who your ideal partner is, and if you know, is it really that person you want to be with, or is it nothing more than an illusion to which your psyche subjects you? Throughout these sections, you will realize that the projection you make of your dream partner most of the time arises from your own insecurities. They are images of people who come to fill some type of void that you have been carrying for many years. And that explains why your dream prince or princess, as the case may be, most of the time ends up being a person who throws you away very easily, and especially someone who you put on a pedestal, when in reality, it is not someone who is necessarily better than you. If you look closely, there you will find the importance of why you must learn to recognize those forces that control the choice you make in your mind of the partner you want. If you were to ask to the most people in the world what kind of partner they want, it is very possible that we are not going to find any big surprises. Women will say that they want a tall, strong, concerned man, among other characteristics. Men are going to say that I want a young, beautiful woman with a good character. She is the ideal partner for most people, because as you can see, she is an archetype that comes inserted in our psychic DNA from our earliest childhood. But the problem is that by looking for a person to solve our insecurity problems, what we are doing is repressing our own ability to control our life. Because if you look, we are giving to another, to that ideal partner we are looking for, the satisfaction of our own happiness. Therefore, if you do not learn to recognize these forces and control them, you will expose yourself to believing that every partner who resembles that projection you make of your dream partner is better than you. And with this, you will cause yourself to limit your own personal value. Deep down, you are going to make your self-esteem decline, and with it, your own ability to make decisions. An example I can give you was a client I had who had a vision of what his ideal woman should be like. Because she looked like a literary character he had fallen in love with while reading a book. In your case, you can correlate it with your childhood heroes or princess. In this case, my client found a woman who resembled that literary character. If you look, he transferred into her what he was looking for in his ideal woman. And what happened in the process? He put her on a pedestal. He thought she was better than him, and with it lost his own ability to see his worth. As time went by, and after pursuing her for several months, he managed to enter into a relationship with that woman. But what happened? Well, that woman began to control his life. Because of what I told you, he didn't believe that he deserved to be the partner of a person as wonderful as his hero of his literature. The degree of control that this woman exerted over him was so great that at one point she ended up breaking his spirit, which was the reason why he came to my consultation. In the end, I managed to get him to dissociate himself from that figure precisely by helping him recognize what had led him to choose that partner in first place, which was what we did in the previous sections, and how he had projected onto that person the ideal of a woman that he was looking for in someone, which is what you are going to learn here, added to everything else you are learning in this course. Given this framework, let me show you the three main factors that determine the partner you want, the one that you project into your unconscious. We are going to work on all of this in greater depth in the sections to come. First of all, you look for someone who is an extension of yourself. Many people enter into a relationship with someone in whom they can reflect their own tastes and desires. Ultimately, someone who doesn't embarrass them in public, but from their own notion of what is good or bad. If you look closely, clearly a complex arises here associated with the fear that the other's action could affect me. There is a very strong issue of insecurity. The problem is that when this happens, you expose yourself to your partner doing what you want, but cheating on you in the process. Let him believe that he is doing your will, when in reality, he is doing his own. But we will delve into all this later. The second factor is the desire for control, which happens when you look for someone who you think you will be able to control easily, like people who get into a relationship with someone seemingly more innocent. One of the problems that I have encountered over the years is that many people pretend innocence. Therefore, if you look for a partner based on whether that person is good, you could end up suffering a lot because at one point your partner shows himself as he is. And the third case is that of insecurity. You are looking for someone to reinforce some aspect of your life in which you feel insecure. I'm looking for a partner because I think I can achieve things by myself. This occurs in people who seek to have someone who can give them some type of social or even material status that they could not achieve on their own. For example, if your partner is always more successful than you are, why couldn't you achieve success on your own? Well, because some type of insecurity has arisen in you that leads you to believe that you need someone else to protect you, to become the father or mother you never had, for example. Once you recognize these forces and control them, you will be in a position to enter a new relationship without potentially becoming a slave to your own insecurities, and with it, that of your partner, which is the most damaging effect it could have. For you, the fact that you don't recognize how all this works.